All right, my fellow agents, welcome back. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today, we will be looking at 1979's Buck Rogers in the 25th century. It's a fun movie. It's pretty straight to the point. It is a semi-backdoor pilot to the television show. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the movie. Did you watch it? Did you like the series? I'll admit it, I enjoyed both. I did not actually see the movie in the theater, but if you could just watch it a little longer than usual, I'd really appreciate it. Are you ready? Let's blast off.
Now, we have reason to believe that the only remaining source is on Planet X, somewhere in this area.
And you want me to find Planet X? Is that it?
Can you do it, Dodgers?
Oh, indubitably, sir. Because there's no one knows his way around outer space like Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
As I mentioned, I did not see this movie in the theater when it came out on March 30th, 1979. My then she wasn't a girlfriend, but my first date ever was right after that. Actually, now that I think about it, I went to Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita, be that as it may, she'd seen it. Budget was 3.5 million. It made 21.7 million, which is no surprise that it was then turned into. Well, it was supposed to be the pilot, and then they said Star Wars was huge. Battlestar Galactica flopped almost immediately after it was huge. Buck lasted 2 seasons on television. I've never seen this actual beginning. This is the theatrical cut. Came from Kino Lorber. It is the DVD release. I'm not sure I love the show enough to, shell out for the Blu-ray, but the movie's fun for $5. So it goes through almost the exact beginning until there's the credits, and then we get this weirdo song at the beginning. The movie's opening credits featured a song "Suspension," sung by Kip Lennon and co-written by Larson, because they all did that so they'd get a credit for it. He was a member of the prog rock band Ambrosia. Oh, geez, from 2021 to 2024. Folk rock band Venice. I don't know what the hell this was. I don't know what they were thinking. I think that's Aaron Gray, though. But these are these women gyrating around, and Buck's asleep because he's supposed to be asleep. Movie was directed by Daniel Haller. Anyway, there is the I want to call it the Voyager, but that's not it. It's the Space Shuttle Ranger 3, which was equipped with star drive in the far off year of 1987. He gets frozen, he returns in time, and there's the Draconia. Some reviewer called it the Battlestar Galactica or the Death Star or a Star Destroyer because they lack imagination on occasion. But I thought it was a pretty nifty thing. So I never saw that being. I saw the one that was on television when they showed the pilot. Because I did watch the show. It was free because it was on, I don't know, NBC or something, seems like. I do have some subtitles in here, so we got that. The effects are very much of the time, but they're pretty cool. They're just fun to watch. These ships here are very important. So they grab the shuttle. He's alive, alive. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers is alive. Combination of gases, and they realize he's just 500 years old. So there is our Princess Ardala, who had returned so many times in the show in the first season. That's Pamela Hensley, who we'll see as in the Doc Savage movie, which was 4 years before this. That was Henry Silva as Kane, Killer Kane in the comic strip. He was part of it. And he gives him his name and rank, but not his serial number. They give him whack him up with 300 cc's of Thorazine, or the draconian equivalent of it. And there he goes. Then he gets all loopy. So she's actually very good in this role. I mean, they're all quite good in the role. And there they go. They send him out there and send him back to Earth. And now they're going to, they've got some ulterior motives in mind. I mean, they're draconians, right? Nothing subtle about that. Here is an unnamed. Does this have the? No, they don't even give her. She's not even in the credits, at least on Wikipedia. She calls her supervisor, and Buck's singing away. Bill Bailey, and there is our first nice shot, probably a matte painting there, of New Chicago. So I've read the seminal Buck Rogers novel, Armageddon 2029, which is 3 years from now. I'll have to review that sometime. There's Colonel Deering, who they did not have spaceships. They were all earthbound. It's a very interesting book. She goes to escort Buck. First they were going to blast him, and he has no idea. So they're taking him, and he thinks the Russians have taken over. He thinks he's still in 1987 or maybe 88. Before Gorbachev tore down that wall, down he goes. So they've got lots of nice shots like this. I really enjoyed that. These effects are so nice to see because they don't look like, and I say it all the time, I know, they don't look like CGI. He meets Wilma face to face, and she is a brick wall. I mean, she is ice cold to him. And then they don't arrest him, but they put him in there. That is Tim O'Connor as Dr. Elias Hewer. I don't know if he played official. Oh, he was in. Yeah, it'll be a long time before I want to review that. I was Gunsmoke. Let's see, The Outer Limits. Oh, he's in The Moonstone. It's one of the episodes I remember from as a young agent. He's in MASH, Of Moose and Men, Dukes of Hazzard, The A-Team. How about that? So lots of things. I think he passed away in 2018 at the age of 90. Anyway, he's very pleasant. He introduces Tweaky and Dr. Theopolis. You know which is which. Tweaky is, of course, Felix Silla inside there, and Mel Blanc as his voice, so you can hear a bit of Bugs Bunny in there. Howard F. Flynn is the voice of Dr. Theopolis. I don't know if he was the voice in the show. I do have that. It is on Internet Archive. I might review it at some point in time, at least the first season. I probably do both, but maybe one at a time. Theo calls Buck a very attractive man. And here he is William Buck Rogers. In the original novel, he was Anthony. And they gave him the nickname of Buck because he could leap like a deer, a buck deer. And now when he tells him that they're in these 504 years later, now he wants that drink. It's green. Scotty must have supplied it. And Wilma wants to expose him as a traitor and a spy. And they're like, why is she so like that? I didn't think she was emotional at all, but she's holding it in. There you go, see Chicago here. Then he wants to know. Then he says he finds some burn marks on his ship. And she's like, this is it. So he goes off down into the Badlands, which I don't think we ever saw much in the actual show. There's old Chicago, and not the place that gives you pizza. There's mutants down there, or radiation survivors, or something, or that they're supposed to be. And of course, they attack. Now, Gil Gerard was in a show called Sidekicks with Ernie Reyes Jr., and he's got to have some training in martial arts. His kicks look really good in here. I didn't get any. He just passed away December 16th, 2025 at the age of 82. He's someone I wish I would have met because he was great. But I don't know if he was ever... Well, he was married to Connie Selica, but he was also in the Reptosaurus movie, of all things, which was adequately entertaining. I wonder if I could find that. Yeah, Reptosaurus, General Morgenstern. But anyway, he seemed like an incredibly decent fellow, I must say. But he's got to have some martial arts training because he looks good doing it. And he finds his parents' graves, but there it is. And he's like, let's go. Fortunately, Deus Ex Machina takes over, and Wilma shows up and zaps a bunch of people. And of course, now they find the tracker that Kane put on his ship. So of course um, there's the princess. Kane tells her that Theo is going to defend him, but unfortunately, his life is to be terminated. The computer council there, which I thought I had a shot of them, but she breaks him out. Really, I mean, and this is her first smile in there. And Erin Gray was a very good actress. I think she was in Silver Spoons later on. We won't hold that against her. But she's very direct, and I don't think Buck from the mid '80s, Earth of the mid '80s, was ready for a woman like this, because men still aren't. There's their ships trying real hard not to look like Vipers or X-wings, although not quite accomplishing either. There's their Draconia, and now we have station identification. I really love the shots like this because that's like 3 layers of film there to make it, the model is flying into the Draconia and you get the size of how big that ship is. And there they are. And now they deny that they've ever met Captain Rogers. And then the Raiders show up. Now, of course, we've seen these before, so the viewer automatically knows that the Draconia is supplying the Raiders who've been hassling the Earth ships. So they can't get food and water, so they have to depend on the Draconians, hence the treaty, hence lots of explosions. But the Earth fighters launch, and they get blown up a lot. And she tells him to stay out of it, and he's like, I'm not using your I will use the Force and not your flight computers. And he blows up 6 of the Raiders. Boom, boom, boom. And she's like, grudgingly thanks him because he can fly like a bat out of heck. And they return home, which again, another lovely shot of them flying across a real, place, probably in Arizona. Wouldn't surprise me. But it's just lovely. And now they think Buck's gone. The princess wants to congratulate him for saving them single-handedly. But of course they talk amongst themselves, and she's very ambitious, this princess. And here we have a gala. Wilma's there. They're all in their dress gowns. Let the celebration begin. And they're all dancing very formally. Now, this is telling me that they'd forgotten what modern music, that it would stay like this. This is right out of, the 18th, 19th, even early 18th and 19th century, right? Am I right? So Buck tells her about the Greeks bearing gifts. She doesn't know what the Trojan horse is. Gets a rose, so he goes out and makes some eyes at Princess Adala. Buck is actually very smart here, very proactive. He actually knows what's going on. That's a very nice to see, because usually the heroes are so naive, but he figures it out, and I like that. And he goes to the instrumentalist there who's playing a moog. Well, he's playing a synthesizer. He wants him to get some dance music. Get loose, get funky. So they dance. And Ardala would be a tough, I don't know. I do think Wilma's very attractive in her spacesuit. Ardala is, just overtly sexual. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I probably would have picked Wilma. I think she became Ginger later on in the series. Geez. This is, they had to add a robot because Star Wars. Everybody added a robot. I mean, whether they just added it. Even the Space Sentinels accidentally did it before Star Wars came out. But, I mean, look at Clash of the Titans made Bubo a robot, the owl. And you can say that he was not the same, but yeah, he was done because of Star Wars. I don't care what that certain agent DA says. Kane says he'll remain on Earth permanently because he's going to take over, right? Wilma kisses Buck, and I think there's some double entendre here. Anyway, there they go off. Tweaky and Theo have been in the fridge or something because Tweaky's freezing his ball bearings off. And now she's like, oh, he's a traitor. But he's been given he had a headache, and Theo gave him this and said, only take one. They're very powerful relaxants. So he pours about 5 into Ardala's drink. And yeah, she's a little vulnerable here, and it's kind of nice. She talks about how her sisters, she's got like 29 sisters, and they're all trying to take her place. I mean, she gives her a little, I'd say humanity, but dracononity, that would be the word, maybe? So, I mean, you don't always, you kind of feel for her. Yeah. And then she doesn't like Cain at all. And I mean, I think she's a little honest here, Princess Ardala. And Pamela does a great job in giving her some touch of, just a bit deep, making her a bit deeper than a power mad princess. But they're getting ready to attack. And now he finds out that they're the Raiders. Judo chop. And he's already frozen Tiger Man, and she wants him executed. He does not get executed, but he might blow up real good later on. Spoiler alert. And Theo and Tricky go out. They see Buck doing this, and they assume the worst, and you're going to zap him. And he says, "What are you doing there?" So he tells them what's going on. And it's like Tricky's got both of them have optical sensors. Why would there be pirate ships? Doy. And then they go and call Earth. They fry this guy's brain probably, but they call Earth. She scrambles the fighters. Off they go. And finally she's like there. And so Buck has put in as many explosives in their tailpipes, so they blow up as soon as they leave. Lots of explosions. Bit of fighting here and there. Wilma's finally says, "Use the Force, Luke." No, just fly by the seat of your pants. And they win. And they're blasting the Draconia. Here we have a fight between Tiger Man and Buck, which is, pretty much the most physical altercation. And it's a good one. Of course, he does kind of blammo! Tiger Man's got nards. Oh, I've got to find Monster Squad to review. It's not quite cricket though, is it? And he puts a torpedo in there and blows up Tiger Man. Now, it seems to me like he shows up back in the television series, and there is Ardala's father, King Draconia, or whatever his name is. He had plenty of shots, Emperor Draco, Joseph Wiseman, but they cut them all out. But I don't know. And so there they go. She goes in to rescue him, and Cain says, "I want you to be alive to answer your father." They hate each other. They literally hate each other. And I will at some point in time, because it'd be 2 episodes at a time really to review, but we could do it. More explosions. Wilma's coming to get them. Everyone runs in there. Yeah, the Tweaky stuff is a little much, but not the worst. The Draconia blows up, killing everyone. And she just still insults him. She is unrepentant. I would think her father would admire her ambition, if nothing else. And things are going to be different. Princess Ardala had very attractive horns on her hat. See? You're my kind of guy. They head back toward Earth, and that is where the movie ends. You get the credits. We don't get that damn song again. It runs a whopping 89 minutes, so it's very compact. 2 episodes, so they could cut it in half for television. You are watching Xenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters on KXNO, part of the Xenorama Broadcasting Network. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program.
Stop action both on and off the track with Speed Racer. Watch him weekdays at 3:30 on WSNS TV 44 Chicago.
I do like Buck Rogers. I don't know that I'll buy the whole series or anything, but I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed the serial. So at some point in time, we'll review all of those. But this is our movie for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tomorrow will be our ultimate, as in last episode, the last 4 episodes of Speed Racer. They're quite good. They all kind of flow into each other. Of quite enjoyable. So, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out. And remember, your home is always waiting for you, even if it's 500 years late.
Quick! Everyone! Flee for your lives!
Emergency. Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news.
The biggest.
Tell them, Robin.
Holy superlatives, Batman! It's really exciting. Soon, very soon, Batman and I will be batapulting right out of your TV sets and onto your theater screens.
That's right, Robin. Our first full-length motion picture feature in color opens a whole new world of thrills. The big screen gives us more space on land, sea, and in the air to challenge the most cataclysmic collection of super criminals ever. Their minimum objective must be the entire world.
And here are the dastardly villains. The Catwoman.
Oh, you're going to see the perfect crime when I get Batman in my claws.
The Joker. Have you heard this one? It'll kill you, Batman. The Penguin.
There are two eggs this wily bird is going to scramble. Batman and Robin.
The Riddler.
Question. Who's going to make the feathers fly and knock Batman and Robin out of the sky?
See, the new weapons in the Bat Arsenal combat the forces of evil. The Batcopter. The exploding, man-eating shark.
Holy sardine!
The relentless Megaton Magnet. The unholy Quartet's secret submarine.
Fire one! Fire one!